Hafade, I'm Nestor LeConte with the Pacific Daily News. Here are our top stories from the PDN Newsroom. With days to go before a federal program that pays those sickened by atomic weapons testing expires, survivors from Guam and a myriad of states that were never recognized for radiation exposure shared the harm that's fallen on citizens. The Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, or RECA, is set to expire on June 7th, nearly 34 years after it was first enacted. But residents from Guam, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, and other communities that were never compensated for illnesses linked to atomic weapons testing and uranium mining are pushing for Congress to extend and expand the program. A procession of radiation survivors shared the stories of families struck by cancer and urged House Speaker Mike Johnson to call for a vote on a RECA expansion during a virtual press conference hosted by the Union of Concerned Scientists early Tuesday morning, Guam time. In other news, Korea-based development company Goldwater purchased the former Starts Guam golf resort in Dededo from a Japanese firm for $24 million, becoming the island's single largest real estate transaction for the first quarter of 2024. Goldwater rebranded the property as the finest Guam Golf and Resort. It plans to reopen the 62-room hotel and clubhouse, which are currently under renovation, in June, according to the company's website. Cornerstone Valuation Guam reported that the $24 million purchase of the former golf resort increased Guam's overall first quarter of 2024 real estate sales volume to $122.8 million, a 21% growth from a year ago. The 291-acre Dededo property includes a 27-hole golf course and residential homes. The golf course has remained operational. And finally, after holding steady for almost 3 weeks, the price of gas dropped 10 cents on Tuesday. Regular unleaded is now $5.10 a gallon, Supreme is $5.50 a gallon, and diesel is $5.43. The latest national average price of regular gas is $3.52. That's according to the AAA. The U.S. Department of Justice has condemned what it describes as racist Insular Cases, a series of U.S. Supreme Court rulings from the early 1900s that essentially allowed those living on Guam and other U.S. territories to be treated like second-class citizens. This comes about a month after a group of mostly Democratic members of Congress launched a renewed push for the DOJ to condemn the racist rulings from a century ago. Besides repudiating the racist rhetoric and reasoning of the Insular Cases, the DOJ said it did not rely on or seek to extend the doctrine of territorial incorporation established by the rulings. The Insular Cases use deeply offensive language when referring to people living in the territories, which are home to alien races whose customs, religion, and way of thinking make it impossible to govern them according to Anglo-Saxon principles, the cases said. In other news, a recent cyber attack on the Republic of Palau led to the release of 20,000 documents marked confidential onto the internet. Palau Vice President J. Uruk Senjabao Sr. told leaders at a regional summit hosted at the Hyatt Regency Guam Tuesday. Discussion on the second day of the 26 Micronesian Islands Forum turned to the potential damage that hackers could inflict on small island governments and critical infrastructure, a concern shared by leaders across the region. Senior told the forum that the March 14 cyber attack on Palau coincided with the island nation signing a renewal of the Compacts of Free Association with the United States. Guam has seen its own share of cyber attacks with alleged ties to China, with Microsoft reporting that Chinese-backed hacker group Volt Typhoon has taken to frequently infiltrating telecommunications companies on the island. And finally, letting the world know about the CHamoru people through dance. For the past several months, traditional CHamoru songs and dances have been reverberating through the Jonya Community Center as a 45-member group prepares for one of the most important performances of a lifetime. The group, led by Master of CHamoru Dance Eileen Meno, will be representing Guam at the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture in Honolulu. Meno commands the room full of dancers and musicians of all ages as they listen to every word and instruction from her. The performers have been at it since December, but took a short sabbatical because of the reapplication process. But they came back in full force in April and have been practicing 3 days a week at the center. More of these stories, go to GuamPDN.com and follow us on social media.